What a marvelous thing this is. Ed informed me earlier on that the first slide stays up until I say, go Ed. So,
Just said it.
that wasn't it. That was just a rehearsal. That wasn't the real thing. So I realized I had time to read a little poem, which kind of, it does fit in with the context of the evening. The poem starts like this. It's very, very short. It isn't just money that makes the world go round, or love. It's balls. Bearings, that is. I should maybe say that I wrote that after I tried to fix my son's bike, and just as I took the pedal off, all these little balls rolled under the... So that's when I realized it was balls that made the world go round. Anyway, moving right along, I'll say... Okay, so the alternative title for my talk is Men's Liberation from Fear of the Feminine and Why We Need It Urgently. What the hell that means, my little intro is this. Look, most men are admirable human beings, but incidents of male violence against women and against each other are still shockingly high. And there are depressingly regular news stories about men behaving rather seriously badly. And as a bloke, I don't know what you guys feel, but it does kind of get to me. You know, it's been getting to me for quite a while, really, to say, well, what the hell is going on with these blokes, you know? And I've come up with a theory to explain it, and that's what this talk is about. Rather than just blaming men, I wanted to kind of come up with some kind of explanation that could say, well, look, there is a reason for this, and that means that actually we can do something to change it. So, go Ed. When we humans first evolved, the world was a very dangerous place for us. Probably only the strongest and most aggressive men survived. Testosterone ruled, and nice guys probably finished dead. True, in some places, humans lived in a paradise in harmony with nature and each other, but I think they were rare, and they were probably often overrun by their more aggressive cousins. So I believe that this vulnerable start to human history can help to explain the male potential for violence, and especially men's desire to control nature, including vulnerable members of our own species. Not because men were evil or bad, but just because we wanted to survive. Aggression was a winning evolutionary strategy. Anything feminine back then was felt by men as a weakness. It had to be controlled. And because of women's apparent links to nature, I'm thinking monthly cycles, reproduction, all this amazing stuff, early man instinctively, if wrongly, felt that they were also dangerous and had to be dominated. Now, possibly women originally felt they had to accept male violence, maybe even encouraged it, because at least with an aggressive guy around, they had a better chance of survival. And over time, the male need to understand and control nature, especially to erect things, has been a driving force for the science and technology which has improved life for us in so many ways over the centuries, not always. But my contention is that male aggressiveness towards nature is no longer useful. In fact, it's the cause of many of the biggest social, economic, and environmental problems facing humanity. So for our species to survive, men urgently need to evolve a better relationship with the feminine in the world, especially in women, and in themselves. This doesn't mean men becoming feminine. So you've just seen a couple of slides there about what I would consider prehistoric masculinity in the world. I'm suggesting that many men at an instinctive deep level are still, in some way, afraid of women. And I think that this deep-rooted male fear underpins misogyny, this sort of hatred of women, which is still around, and its many expressions. Thinking FGM, violent porn, child abuse, domestic abuse. The power of female sexuality especially seems to be experienced as a threat which has to be neutralized and controlled, rather than appreciated and respected. Most men would never admit to it, but many studies show that violence is rooted in shame and fear, not strength or confidence. And I believe that men who abuse are especially afraid, and at some level despise themselves for this, increasing their need to bully others. Look, I think this fear of women underlies the thankfully very rare behavior of even men like this. It's a fear which is hard for men to change, because it's such a cultural taboo for men to even admit to it, even to themselves. It's also mixed up with the fact that all of us, men, are completely dependent on a woman for the first months of life. And perhaps the memory of that vulnerability reminds men that we need women, but also perhaps there's a fear around of ever letting a woman have that level of control over us again. So look, over time, women have naturally sought equality. And in the freer societies, feminism has emerged, the essence of which I think of as being men and women are not the same, but have equal rights and are deserving as equal respect. But even though they might support the idea of equality, some men seem to hate and fear feminism. Maybe because they think it means that women want to get revenge by dominating them. Look, there might be some who do, but I think we can just avoid them, right? The truth is, we're all made up physically and psychologically of masculine and feminine elements. Men generally with more of the former, women generally with more of the latter. And when a man or a woman tries to cut off part of their wholeness, they become literally unbalanced and a danger to themselves and to others. Men pay a heavy price for their separation from emotions and feelings in terms of psychological pain and happiness, not feeling okay to be fully ourselves or to get close to others. And unfortunately, many of the male role models which are out there are ridiculously extreme. Examples of impossible macho ideals, i.e. men who feel no fear, but don't feel anything else either very much. And we men are not winners in a culture that encourages us to cut off the feeling or feminine side of ourselves. And trust me, we all have that side. High male suicide rates confirm this. And I believe a society where we men could be more at ease with our feminine side, and I'm not saying become feminine, more connected with Mother Earth, would be healthier for men and women. What can we do to change? Stop feeling ashamed for our distant past, commit to changing our future, regain a sense of pride, enjoy supporting and nurturing the women and children in our lives, and realize that power and wealth cannot bring as much happiness as being our full selves. Become FeMAnists. It's just a sort of a slight play on word that I came up with. But the idea was, I heard Jermaine Greer saying on the radio, we need more men to become feminists. And I thought, that is a losing battle. I don't think most men that I know want to be feminists. That's a woman's movement. What we need is a movement for us men to look at our own issues, the ways in which we sabotage ourselves, and to be there as friends and supporters and allies for women. And so I would say, become men who are brave enough to celebrate the full emotional experience of being human, balancing the masculine and feminine in ourselves, and being allies to women in a shared search for love and freedom. Thank you very much.